Following Monday night's game against the Kansas City Chiefs, Las Vegas Raiders receiver Davante Adams pushed a credentialed camera person named Ryan Zebley onto the ground as he was walking off the field. So from what I hear, he had just lost the game. He and his team, of course, had lost the game. And because of copyright issues, we're not allowed to show you the video, but we do have some screenshots showing the moment he decided to push this cameraman to the ground. So here you see him walking. This is immediately after the game ended. His team is lost. He continues walking, and just all of a sudden, you see the cameraman right there on the left-hand side of the screen. He just pushes him, and he ends up on the ground. And the cameraman did nothing wrong. He was just literally just doing his job. He didn't like get up into his face. He's just filming him as he's leaving the field. And Kansas, and by the way, there is a video from a different angle, I believe. Can we go to that? Yeah, let's go to the Davante Adams video next. Okay, so there's a video from a different angle. You could see him push him. More importantly, you could see that the cameraman did nothing wrong. Now, Kansas City, Missouri police said Adams pushed Zebley onto the ground while running off the field following the Raiders' 30-29 loss to the Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium on Monday night. Police called it an intentional overt act that caused whiplash, a headache, and a possible minor concussion. And Davante, who was clearly frustrated after a tough loss, offered somewhat of an apology, saying, quote, "He jumped in front of me coming off the field. I didn't see it that way, but nonetheless, I kind of pushed him." No, you pushed him to the ground. "He ended up on the ground. I want to apologize to him for that. That was just frustration mixed with him really just running in front of me. I shouldn't have responded that way, but that's the way I responded. I want to apologize to him for that." In addition to facing criminal charges, the NFL is also investigating Adams' actions here. He could face possible punishment, including a fine or suspension.
Yeah, so I really like Davante Adams as a player. I also like Aaron Rodgers as a player. Oh well. But that doesn't mean a goddamn thing about how they are in real life. And so there is one part of Adams' statement I think is right. I watched that video many times, and the guy does step in front of him accidentally at the wrong time, right? But this isn't a slight nudge or they brush up against each other and the guy's making a big deal out of it. No, everybody who's seen the video, now you saw it, and you saw that I thought the pictures were actually better because you see him extending his arms, you see the guy falling back. There's no question about it at all. He pushed him super aggressively, right? And that's assault, it is. The guy didn't do anything wrong. And the thing that bothers me about it is, look, I get it, that was a super hard loss. It was a controversial play about a two-pointer, and it was heartbreaking for the Raiders to lose. But that guy didn't have anything to do with it, man. Davante Adams is a multi-millionaire. He's got a giant contract from the Raiders. And for you to then push a guy who's, an average dude trying to make a living there, that looks terrible, terrible. And assault is assault. We talk about it in the case of Republicans. No, but the President Trump doesn't get to be above the law. If you break the law, then you got to be held accountable. Same is true of players you like, and that includes Davante Adams. Clearly out of bounds, if you will, and he should suffer the consequences.
I just think, it's a pretty good rule, right? Rule of thumb, like just don't put your hands on anyone, regardless of what emotional state you're in, regardless of. Look, if someone is actually posing a threat to you and you need to defend yourself, that's something entirely different. But that is not what happened in this case, not even close to that. There are other instances, by the way, of pretty clear assault. Other NFL players have done similarly violent things on the field outside of gameplay. So this is a little bit of a different situation. There was a Rams linebacker, Bobby Wagner, who tackled an animal rights activist who ran out onto the field. So we got a quick video on that. I wonder if you see this a little differently.
I do, let's watch.
Oh, did he tear his ACL? Oh yeah, he's still going.
Yeah, so look, I actually even changed my mind on that. So that guy's totally different than the photographer because he's breaking the law by going on the field. And so they have a right to detain him, and Wagner is in a sense assisting in the detainment, right? And when I first saw it as a football fan, I like the Rams because now my son's a Rams fan, and I like Bobby Wagner, and he leveled him, and that was kind of funny. I'm a bad guy, sorry for saying it, okay? But now I've changed my mind on it. Yeah, he can do that, but he shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, like the guy's trying to bring attention to a cause. You might not agree. You might agree. You might not agree. It might annoy you that he's doing the smoke bomb thing and interrupting the game. But dude, you're Bobby Wagner, man. You're one of the best linebackers. You're gonna level that guy who doesn't have pads on. Okay, it's too much.
He's an animal rights activist. Like he's not an NFL player.
No,
he can't be tackled by an NFL player. Like,
yeah, of course. At the time, Wagner doesn't know that he's an animal rights activist. But you don't know. That's my point, though, right?
I know. Yeah.
He could be a jackass, or maybe he's trying to promote an important cause.
Okay, but I don't even care that he's trying to promote an important cause.
Yeah,
what the activist did was wrong. Okay, I'm not erasing that. The reason why I bring out that he's an animal rights activist is just to point out that he's not some big, tough NFL player who can handle being tackled like that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's big animal rights activists too, but they're not in pads. Okay, that guy's not a big guy. And so, no, don't do it, man. It's not, the bottom line is easy. It's not fair. It's not cool to use your power against the powerless under any context. Now, Wagner's not in trouble and he shouldn't be in trouble because he didn't do anything against the law. Davante Adams, on the other hand, clearly did against someone who was perfectly innocent. And so you would be in serious legal trouble. So I hope he is, even though I really love him as a player, right? And that's just the reality of it. And you can't be biased just because you like someone.
Just keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.